Alright, so I read her Everything in Its Place. These are actually fun little adventure books. And yeah, it's Treasures from Grandma's Attic. We have a lot of these books. I like these books a lot. It's just little moral stories. They're kind of old fashioned, but they're awesome. And Karina actually fell asleep. She got a potty change. Well, she had potty time, a diaper change, and I lotioned her down and stuff. She needs a lot of lotion and stuff because the eczema. It's only on her face because that's the only spot she's allowed to scratch because, well, not allowed to. That's the only spot she actually gets to scratch. So I rocked her to sleep and sang her lullabies. And so my little girl is asleep. She'll be asleep for a little bit, and I'm just going to hold her through her nap because when I put her down, she tends to wake up. And she's only going to be my baby for a little while, so if I don't take the opportunity to hold her now, this time is going to be gone before I know it. And I love holding her. I woke James up, asked him if we were going to the parade and getting up. He said that he was going to be getting up soon. So hopefully he gets up soon. And then little boy Squish is over there laying down. And yeah, so this is our day. I'm actually going through videos on my computer to upload them onto YouTube because I'm actually doing the day in the life videos now on YouTube. So I have a couple of videos up. I put the videos up from when I encapsulated my placenta after I had my daughter, and I put up a video of when she was 6 hours old when we came home because I had a natural birth. So, and at a birthing center, so you get to stay there between 4 hours and 6 hours. We stayed there for 6 hours, and we just, relaxed, and we went home. We didn't even have anything with us because I didn't realize I was going to have her on the 10th. So we had the car seat, and we drove down there for my 2 appointments. James came with me because I was like, I think I'm in labor, and, you should maybe come. And so he went down for the first time. He met some of my midwives, and then, I had Karina, and then we got to go home. So that's the great thing about the birthing center is you're not there for days, and, you get a natural birth. And, like, I gave birth in the bathroom on the floor in a squatting position. And before that, like, I got to be in the bathtub because I was like, go ask the midwife to run me a bath because this is my last chance. So I had James go and ask the midwife and to go run me a bath. She did. I went into the bath. I warmed it up a little bit more, and stuff like that. And, I got out of the bath. I went facing the tank part on the toilet. And, and then I turned back around. I was facing out, like the normal way you sit on the toilet. And, then I was like, oh, my water's going to break. So I flushed the toilet, and I flushed it twice just to make sure there's nothing in there. And then I felt my water bulge and then break. And I was like, oh, my water just broke. And Anne's like, can I check it? I'm like, of course, of course. And she checked it. I'm like, is there anything in there? She's like, nope, it's clear. I'm like, that's awesome. So the waters were clear. And then I started swaying because I started tearing and it started burning. And she was like, you could feel your baby's head. And I'm like, I'm going to open wide. I'm going to open wide. I'm going to open wide. And I kept repeating it, and I stopped watching the clock tick, because at that point in time I was watching the clock tick. I wasn't actually watching the time. I was just watching the ticking and watching the minutes. And so then after that I got off the toilet, and I was in a squatting position, and I pushed my baby out, and Anne caught her and handed her to me, and I had a wonderful birth. And, then I stood up with my baby in my arms, and I walked myself to the bed. And then, I was in shock for a little bit. And I started crying. And I was like, I'm so happy she's out. I'm so happy she's out. And I had my baby in my arms as she was crying on and off, just trying to figure out everything that just happened to her as well. And she worked so hard, and I worked so hard. And then on the way home, James was like, oh, my back hurts from the way I was sitting. And I was like, oh, really? Okay. And I was talking to my friend Amber on the phone. She was like, oh, you did something that, James will never be able to do. And I was just like, pain's relative, this is okay. And and she's like, oh, Mindy, yeah, I know. So anyway, so we get home and we show Squish Karina, and, he's a little interested. He smells her a little bit, and he gets off the couch and he wanders away. He's just like, I don't know. And so then Karina and I went to bed. I put her actually in the co-sleeper. And she started crying, and I had been with this child for 10 months straight, sleeping with her in my stomach in my womb. And I came out with her in my arms, and I'm like, James, I am co-sleeping with this child. Like, the birthing center was like, you're going to change your mind and you're going to be co-sleeping from day one. And I'm just like, I'm not going to co-sleep. We have a co-sleeper, you know? So I was like, you know, we're not doing that. But no, I came out with her in my arms and I was just like, all right, we're co-sleeping. And James is just like, I don't like that idea. I don't want to do that. And I'm like, well, you know, I sleep next to you every night. I don't crush you. And just like I would never crush my child because I could feel her while I'm sleeping or while I'm awake, you know. And he stayed up and he played his games and he was like, oh, I went in, I checked on you guys every time she cried and stuff. And, you know, every time she cried, I woke up and I fed her. And he's like, oh, yeah, I went to check on you guys and stuff. Didn't see him, but I guess he did. And in the morning when I was up and Karina was crying a little bit, he came in and he was like, all right, I'm really tired. And he was like, I'm going to bed. And, you know, that day my midwife came over just to check on us and Karina's hearing and to see what our house was like, make sure it was safe, stuff like that. Obviously it was. And she's like, I see no issues with your house. And she's like, you know, your baby's hearing is perfect. And James was sleeping. And, you know, Karina, I was changing her diaper. And she was like, oh, you know, she responds really well to changing a diaper and stuff. I'm like, she's crying a little bit, though. She's like, most babies cry more than that. I'm like, oh, okay, that's great. And she didn't really lose any weight. She was born at 7 pounds, 12 ounces, and she was, I think, 7 pounds, 6 ounces when the midwife was there with us. And actually, the midwife was pregnant as well and about to have her own baby. And it was her third baby that was coming on. So I mean, that's awesome, too. So she wouldn't really eat or drink anything at her house. I was like, oh, you know, we made you tea and we have stromboli and, you know, all this stuff. And she was like, no, no, no. She wouldn't even take, like, soup or anything to go with her. So it's all good, though. But, so yeah, the midwife was actually pretty awesome because, you know, they came to our house and, you know, they were welcomed in and, you know, they got to see us. And, you know, that was a pretty awesome experience. And, you know, so that was the beginning of our adventure with having our daughter. It was awesome. Very empowering to have your own child, very empowering to raise your child, whether you want to raise her or him, you know, whatever you have. And, you know, it's a very good thing. No one can tell you really what to do with your child because it's yours. You don't want to let other people hold her. Don't let other people hold her. That's your baby. I mean, if they want to hold a baby, they could go to the NICU and hold the babies if they get vetted out to volunteer and they're safe and healthy around the babies. If they want to hold a baby, they should have held their own babies when they had them. Like, I'm not very much for sharing my baby, because children don't need anyone besides from their mother. We are apes. We are there to protect our children and to educate our children and to love our children. And, that's just the way I feel about it, which is fine because, you know, a lot of other people actually feel the same way that I do, but some people don't, and that's fine as well. But yeah, I don't know. I just started rambling. But yeah, it's been 8 minutes and 14, 15, 16, 17 seconds on this video so far. So I'm going to let this go and I'm going to hold and obviously rock my baby. And I'm going to check out some of the videos that I'm going to be uploading onto the computer. She's honestly the best thing in my life. I mean, honestly, having a baby, that's what makes your life worthwhile. I waited years to have her and I thought I was doing the right thing when I had her. You know, I'll see where this lands us, but I don't know. She is the best thing in my life, though, and, you know, I hope that she always knows that. She's the best thing in my life that I've ever done. And, you know, she's my number one accomplishment that I'll ever have, and my goal is just to raise her really, really well, and for her to come out really, really smart. I want her to have all the options in the world, whether she wants to be a housewife and homemaker like me, whether she wants to go to Europe and go to college so it's free, whether she wants to, you know, work for NASA, or if she wants to be a ballet dancer, or if she wants to, you know, do whatever she wants to do. Go marry a woman, go marry a man, don't get married at all, don't have children, like, this is her life, this is her decisions, and as much as I could rewind my own life sometimes, I want her to have all the options that she wants and needs. And honestly, in the end, if she finds, well, she's an adult, if she finds someone who loves her, I always tell her, obviously she doesn't understand me. Find someone who kisses the feet that you walk on. Find someone who loves you, who treats you well, who doesn't make fun of you. You know, find someone who just wants to be there with you, for you to have fun and for him to have fun. Be there for each other. I mean, a partnership, you guys choose to go into a relationship. You guys choose to be together. And, you know, be with someone who wants to be with you, not someone who doesn't necessarily want to, you know, because there's so many other people out there in this world. There's so many people in this world, and so many people are loving, but some people just aren't. And if she finds someone who loves her, I will be thrilled. When she's an adult and she finds someone, I hope it's someone who really loves her. So I hope to treat her the absolute best, and she's my little princess, and I hope that she finds someone who treats her that way too. So, well, that's my video. That's my update. I'm obviously just rocking my child, and I ramble. So, yeah, this is me.